Hello, thanks for joining us for this webinar today. We'll be getting underway in about a minute's time. So I hope you're having a wonderful day today, wherever you are around Australia. If during the webinar you have any questions that you would like to send to us, please type them in to your computer and raise your hand, and we will answer the questions later in the webinar. Okay, we're at the allocated time, so we will get started. Welcome to this webinar from ESS BIZTOOLS, ESS BASIP and IODM. We've had a late minute change. The presentation by IODM is going to be made today by Chris Rogers, a director of IODM. Damian unfortunately is caught up in a meeting that's overrun. So Chris Rogers will be talking to you shortly. World's worst debtors days outstanding. That's not something you'd expect to be attributed to Australia, would you? It's something that sounds like, with all due respect, third world country conditions. But unfortunately, Australia has been deemed to have the world's worst debtors days outstanding, 26.4 days longer than a traditional trading period. So based on a 30-day term, this is 56.4 days. That's a huge figure. The largest debtors days outstanding in the world. The challenge we're going to be putting to you today is, as accountants and business advisors, what can you do to try to change this situation? Let's look at an action plan. The Australian Government Small Business Ombudsman has indicated she's talking to government departments and big businesses about improving their payments to small, medium enterprises. And whilst that's very good, we believe that there are other contributing factors. Businesses need good debtors procedures, systems, to make sure that there's proper control put in place around debtors. Businesses need an effective recovery processes, and Chris is going to talk to you about that shortly, because IODM have developed such a system. And we believe that every small medium enterprise should be using a written debtors systems manual that has been customised to suit their particular requirements. And we'll talk more about that later on. And accountants, your input is needed. This action to rid Australia of this very dubious title is not going to occur unless there has been changes made in how businesses go about administering their debtors. Incidentally, as we're going through the webinar today, if you have any questions for myself or Chris, can you please type them into your computer, and in webinar jargon, raise your hand, and we will answer the questions later in the presentation. So let's look at the tools that are there to assist accountants and advisors to give advice on debtors to their clients. ESS BIZTOOLS has a debtors management system, an SME debtors systems manual, and we have a special mentoring program to assist you to deliver this process. Some of you are probably saying, oh no, we can't worry about debtors at this time of the year, we're still busy doing tax returns. Hello, your clients out there Many of them have got real problems in this area. This is really affecting their cash flow. And the reason we've introduced a mentoring component into the package that ESS BIZTOOLS is offering you is to take some of the stress and time allocations away from partners. We can do that for you. We will conduct webinars to assist your team to understand how to undertake this function. IODM has an accounts receivable management hub, which Chris is going to talk to you about shortly. This will, for clients who have not used it in the past, will revolutionise how they go about collecting money from debtors. And I believe that the problems in actually collecting money is obviously one of the great contributors to this very high Debtors Days Outstanding figure. So what's in a debtors management system, where the overall aim has got to be to reduce Debtors Days Outstanding? Our system starts off with a detailed questionnaire so that you as the accountant advisor are able to ascertain where any weak points are in your client's approach to debtors. Is there a written credit application form? Unfortunately, many businesses do not have these, and therefore they tend to inherit other people's problems because they haven't properly followed through to try to establish who is this business that they're now going to be giving credit to. And is the application checked? Do they actually receive the director's guarantees, and do they then file them so that in the unfortunate event that those guarantees are needed at some future date, they're available? Is contact made with the referees to make sure that this business is what they say it is and that you're not getting someone else's problem? Is there advice given to the sales staff in the business about the new debtor? What's the terms of trade? What's the credit limit? Is there a welcome to new customer letter sent out? It's a great PR opportunity to introduce the team, to confirm the credit limit and the payment dates, to enclose the terms of trade agreement and the retention of title agreement that are very necessary for the personal property securities register registration. And this is very important, primarily to assist your client to avoid liquidators' preferential payment claims, which are causing quite a few concerns for various businesses around Australia. And what about your client's system relating to the tax invoice? Does it contain the information that their new customer has indicated they would like to receive? And very importantly, does it state the payment due date? Because when Chris talks to you very shortly about IODM, he's going to be emphasising that the IODM system requires the invoice to have a due date for payment. So my recommendation to you is you say to your clients you don't want them to produce debtor statements or to mail debtor statements to clients. What the emphasis should be on is to ensure that each individual tax invoice has a due date for payment, and that is the key document that your clients are sending to their customers, not a debtor statement, because debtor statements in some businesses take weeks to produce, and then many of their customers say they're not going to pay until they've received the debtor statement. So no wonder we've got debtors days average outstanding in Australia of 56.4 days. And bear in mind that is an average figure. Therefore, some of your clients could be up around 80, 90 days, debtors days outstanding. So I'm now going to introduce you to Chris Rogers. Chris is a director of IODM, standing in at the last minute for Damian Arena. And I'm just going to switch the panel now so that Chris can take over. Good afternoon, Chris.
Good afternoon, Peter. I hope everyone can hear me okay.
Yes.
Good. Now, just make sure you give me the controls, Peter.
Yeah, I've sent them across to you.
Okay. All right, let's start. Well, welcome everyone, and thank you for that introduction, Peter. My name is actually not Damian Arena. My name is Chris Rogers, one of the founders of IODM as well. So hopefully I'll be a good substitute for him. So as we state, cash is the lifeline of any business. And regardless of whether you're a small business or an accountancy practice, cash is the lifeline to bring and feed the business. What we've identified with building the solution of IODM is that too many small businesses, and this runs right up into the enterprise level as well, we focus on the service provision or the goods and services that we provide to our clients. Very, very little attention to our accounts receivable, and we only take action when actually it gets out of control. So we developed this application. I'm just finding it hard to page forward there. Just 1 second, I'm sorry. Trying to page forward and I'm paging forward. Perhaps Peter, thanks Peter, if you could page forward for me, if you could just display that the whole slide, and I'll just ask you to send the next slide. So what is basically, in generalized terms, the business problem? Accountants are basically being used as banks, and we all know that. Whilst we are very good and adept and we've gone to university and qualified as accountants, the actual services we provide to our clients are at a true professional level. But when it comes to actually invoicing our clients for legitimate services that we provide, we are very neglectful. It's very particularly interesting that accountants are one of the worst, I wouldn't say offenders, but the worst debt problem in Australia. If we look at 72.5% of all businesses are being paid late, that is an astounding problem of 72.5, and the instances of debts are increasing more and more. As you can see here, we've got 61 90 days outstanding has risen by 22, and 90 plus we've risen by 15%. So what do? Now, my experience in a lot of our organisations is that they put on more staff. That's what they do. Effectively putting more staff on effectively puts greater cost to your business. Next slide, please, Peter.
Okay.
So what we've done with IODM is we tried to create a solution where we can follow up on our debtors using an automation, a system of automation, which provides an inherent workflow and a system and procedure. There's a couple of points there, Peter, as well. Our objectives in IODM is to create a seamless integration, improving the efficiencies, and improving the customer experience. So we've developed a solution that automates the whole AR reminder process, and it also increases customer satisfaction, which I'll show you later on. Some of the positive client impact that we've had or achieved in our accountancy client base is, if you look at these subscribers of accounting 1 through to 5, generally we've improved their debtor daily sales outstanding by nearly 70%, which is an astounding figure given this is an automated system with very, very little manual intervention. Next slide, please, Peter. Some of the positive client impact that we've had: RSM, 66% of initial debt settled after the first reminder. Blue Rocked, that they've reduced their resources of spending 3 days per week in managing their debtors down to 2 to 3 hours per week. That is a significant saving for a full-time employee or a contract employee in actually reining in their debts. BDO has improved their efficiencies, and as you can see, we've jumped to many testimonials that you can actually see on the Xero website. So we've demonstrated IODM provides accountancy practice significant improvement in reining in their debtors. Now, what about the cost of having debtors? Now, this is an astounding statistic, and this was produced by the Harvard Business Review. The cost of business for every $1,000 outstanding over 30 days is 1.82%, but significantly, as it doubles from 30 to 60 days, the costs rise to nearly 10.3%, to 90 days, which is nearly 20%, to 120 days of 30%. That's 30% cost to the business of having $1,000 over 120 days. That is an astounding figure in terms of our cost. Some of our clients will say to us, that's not right, because if I look at my overdraft, that's a much less percentage cost. But it's the cost to rein in that debtor is included in this estimate. It's not only the cost to the business, the overdraft cost, but the opportunity cost of having those amounts not into your bank account, but into your client's bank account instead. So basically, what does the IODM solution do? We seamlessly integrate to any of your bookkeeping system that you use at your accountancy practice. So for example, whether you're a Xero, a MyOb, AE, a Reckon APS, we can integrate directly into that bookkeeping system. Once the invoices are integrated into IODM, we'll send an initial reminder, which is 7 days after the due date, and that comes back to, as Peter was mentioning, that we need to have a due date on the invoice, that the 7 days after the due date of the invoice, a gentle reminder is sent along with an SMS alert. 14 days later, there's another reminder letter and another SMS is sent. After 21 days has elapsed from the due date of the invoice, a gentle mercantile letter is sent reminding the client that they have overdue invoices that need to be paid to you. After 28 days, there is a final demand letter from a mercantile company requesting and demanding payment. If the debt is still not paid after 28 days plus 7 days, automatically IODM will send a notice to the mercantile agent, who will then contact you and ask you for permission or discuss options in chasing that debt. IODM does this automated or automatically. You need, as a bookkeeper within your accountancy practice, only needs to go in, import the invoices, 2 or 3 clicks of the button, and those reminders are sent seamlessly and automatically to your client base, thus reducing the time it takes for you to pursue those outstanding debts and increasing the effectiveness of those debts to your clients. Some of our key partners within IODM, as you can see, we're working with NAB, we're working with PwC, BDO, and as you can see, a number of different large organisations. Significantly, we work very closely with Smart Fee as well, that provide fee funding for your clients if necessary. So what we are stating, and what our mission statements for IODM, is to evolve the business and support our clients in automation using technology and improving our customer experience by the evolution and automation of technology. Next slide, please. Yeah. This here is an example of an email that would be sent to your client. As you can see, we give many options which are not normally available in any form of reminder management system. The client has the ability to pay using our Integrate Pay portal. They can simply click on the button and pay your invoice immediately using their credit card or in a future release EFTPOS. If the client wishes to fee fund the invoices that you have sent for a reminder, they can click on fee funding button and immediately be directed into the Smart Fee portal to make an application for fee funding for your professional services. Now we have also the dispute and query button. This is significantly a leap in automation and customer satisfaction. So for example, in a business case of RSM Berg Cameron, their clients would use the query button because what was happening in their instance is a client would pay the bill but not have enough information for RSM to apply that payment against the specific or correct client who made the payment. So when the reminder went out again, and the client said, I'm querying this account because I've already paid it. Immediately RSM was alerted that they'd actually banked the payment into their holding account or their account that is their bucket for payments that they can't apply to clients, and they could take remedial action. The significance of that button allows your customers to improve customer service, because by querying the account, your professional practice can immediately contact that client and discuss their options, thus improving customer satisfaction enormously. So not only does your client then get a reminder management, they get an offer to pay immediately, they get an opportunity to fee fund that invoice or that group of invoice immediately, and they also have an opportunity to dispute the invoice, thus improving customer service and also improving the mechanism and the way that the client can pay you immediately based on that trigger of the reminder. Why should you use it? It gives you back control. You could actually take on more clients with less effort in reminding those clients to payment. You can actually move money from the debtors or your client's account into your bank account, thus increasing your business valuation because you actually have more cash in bank rather than sitting in the accounts of your clients. It's a positive experience in increasing the customer service to your clients. And as it was shown by the testimonials from significantly large accountancy firms, great success is achieved by using the IODM solution. So the next steps, we can highlight the problem. We can fill out a questionnaire that we supply to you, and we can sign a proposal. What we do here is we look at your debt, your client's outstanding, so you can understand what the cost is to your practice. You fill out our questionnaire, and we need information about your source, bookkeeping system, etc. And then we make a quote. Assuming that you sign the proposal, we will then implement the automation, guarantee improved efficiency, increase your cash in your bank, and you'll be able to do more with less staff. We will also identify what are your responsibilities in terms of populating the IODM database and our responsibilities in terms of customer service. Most of our clients spend a matter of less than 1 hour per week in administration of IODM. We also set and agree the timelines in the proposal and start rolling it out. We can get you running on IODM in a matter of 2 weeks. So what is the offer? Because we're partnering with Peter, what we're offering is we can set up a free white label. So we can brand IODM as your practice version of IODM, which is powered by IODM. So for example, RSM or BDO or a number of our enterprise-wide accountancy practices, they white label IODM as a view to some point in the future to offer this as a service to their client base to improve the accounts receivable. So we're offering a free white label, and we're also offering a $1,000 credit towards the initial setup fee. This offer is valid for 30 days, which we can get you up and running within 2 weeks after the proposals is signed. Next slide, please, Peter. I wish to thank you all for your attention, and any questions that you might have, please send them through, write them through on the chat, and or to Peter or myself directly. Thank you for your attention, guys. Hand over to you now, Peter.
Thanks, Chris. Thank you very much. As Chris said, if you have any questions or need any further information from IODM, can you please contact him, and we will be sending you out an email after this webinar, and we will include Chris's contact details. So let's just move on now as part of this overall evolution of systems to improve Debtors Days Outstanding, to rid Australia of this very dubious title that I personally am quite offended at. I'd rather win the World Cup or beat the Pommies at cricket, but not be labelled as having the worst Debtors Days Outstanding in the world. So let's look at the monthly systems that your clients should have, and indeed your own accountancy business. The Debtors Days analysis, the calculation of the Debtors Days Outstanding. How many of your clients know how to calculate that figure so that they are able to use it in their work? And we've just shown on the screen there now a sample of the spreadsheet which we've developed that is part of the package that enables your clients to be able to regularly calculate this figure, because this is one of the key performance indicators that your clients should be regularly looking at and trying to work their way down. If they're currently on that horrible 56.4 days, they can work out a strategy of how they might be able to reduce it. One of the other forms we've developed is a debtors reduction form. I've been as guilty as this as any other accountant, I think, basically saying to a client, oh, you need to reduce your debtors by $30,000, and going outside, getting in my car and going back to the office. Where does your client start? So we've developed a very simple form. You can badge it across the top here with your name, and you suggest to your client that they need to identify the key clients that they're going to get this special amount from, and what are they targeting to collect, and more importantly, who's got the job to go and get this money? Is it someone that's going to make a telephone call? Is it the delivery driver who is asked to go and get the check whilst he's delivering the next order, if you're still doing that? Or is it someone else? Or is it going to be a mercantile agent? And then allow the client to progressively record how they're going. Because this is an extra payment they're trying to get. They're trying to get an extra $30,000 over and above what they would normally have collected from that client. So hopefully that type of form would also assist. There's no doubt in my mind that a written system assists. Far too many of our small, medium enterprise clients have got no written system for debtors. There's some sort of hand-me-down system in place where the previous person's left a few notes. They might be on a board, they might be pinned onto a computer screen, and the poor person, I call them the poor person, it's given the responsibility of administering your debtors, has got to try to work their way through this. I think in 2017 they all deserve a written system that has been customized to suit this particular client's requirements, and it highlights what is going to be required to run an effective debtor system, to try to get debtors days outstanding at somewhere between 30 and 40 days. If you read the report that the Australian government's Small Medium Enterprise Ombudsman has produced, you will notice that some countries around the world, instead of being 26.4 days over the traditional 30-day trading period, Some of them are actually under, so they got -2 days, and others are only 2 to 3 days over. We are 6 days worse than the next closest country. It's really highlighting there's some real problems in the Australian system, and accountants are placed to do something about it. So the next key thing with a written system is make sure the person that's going to administer debtors in your client's premises have been trained in what the process is all about, particularly relating to things like the Personal Property Securities Register as it relates to credit sales and debtors, to understand the importance of getting the terms of trade document and the retention of title document signed by the new customer, returned promptly. Because as you know, there are very strict deadlines on the dates that those registrations can be lodged. And many people do not understand them, not just the poor person trying to administer the debtors system. We believe you need a management checklist to make sure things are working okay. So what I've listed on the screen there now on the SME Debtor Systems Manual is the key headings in the manual which we have produced, which as accountants you can then customise to suit a particular client's requirements. Going through the checklist, looking at the debtors management system, going through some of the transactions that that client might have, how you go about monitoring debtors, and hopefully they will use the IODM system, staff training, some discussions on cash flow so the person operating the debtor system understands how all this fits together. And the systems manual recommends that the client engages their accountant to undertake a review of the debtor system each year to make sure there's been no deviations. Or if there has, are they good deviations? And if so, they should be incorporated within the system. So the ESS BIZTOOLS IODM package, which we're launching today, Improving Debtors Days Outstanding Package, includes the debtors management system so that you can review the current system and make changes to improve efficiency. The IODM Accounts Receivable Management Hub, which is an automated business solution that interfaces with QuickBooks, Xero, MYOB and Reckon and other products. The customer follow-up processes, SMS messages, emails, and incorporating, of course, the special offer under the 5th of May that IODM are offering, the free white label setup and the $1,000 credit towards the initial setup fee. So to obtain those two benefits, you have to agree to become a subscriber to IODM before the 5th of May this year. And there's discounted rates for utilising the IODM system available to ESS BIZTOOLS and ESS BASIP subscribers, and you are then able to introduce your clients to the IODM system and receive a benefit for doing so. The SME Debtors Systems Manual is part of the package, which enables you to customise the manual to suit the individual client's requirements. What you're going to receive initially is the template, and you can then edit it if you wish. If you don't wish to edit it, that's okay. As part of the package, we're offering a debtors management monitoring session of up to 1 hour, and this could be held in 2 30-minute sessions if that suits you better. These will be delivered via webinar or Skype sessions to fit in with your preference in your firm. If partners cannot attend, that's okay. We will take your team through the process. We will supply an agenda at the beginning of each session, and we will prepare an action plan which will be sent back to the participants and to the partners so you know what's going on. We know that partners are busy. There's still a lot of tax returns out there to be done, but your clients need some help on this debtors issue now. I'd like the government's ombudsman to be able to proudly announce by the end of June that Australia's overcome this problem. And to do that, it's going to require some significant input from accountants. So the mentoring offer is to assist you to get your team ready so that they can start undertaking these assignments with your clients now. I think a review of a debtor system for a client and the preparation of a customized debtor systems manual will probably take about 1 day, and there's probably a fee of around $2,000 for the review, $250 for the manual, $2,250. How many clients have you got that currently have debtors days outstanding exceeding 40 days? If I'm sure you've got them. The survey says there's probably thousands of them. Therefore, they're the ones to start with. Introduce them to the IODM system, undertake the systems review, prepare a debtor systems manual for them, and you will be making a great contribution to their businesses because they will have improved their cash flow position very significantly. So your investment for the Debtors Days Outstanding Package is $499, including GST. If you want to subscribe for that, you can go to ESSBIZTOOLS.com.au, or you can go onto the IODM site, who have a special package offering available as well. Just a commercial on the ESS BIZTOOLS free webinars in April. Next week we've got our webinar on Virtual Chief Financial Officer Services, Tuesday the 11th of April, 12:30 p.m. And on Thursday the 27th of April, we are launching crowdfunding equity raising. The government has finally got that legislation passed by the Senate. It was signed off by the Governor General a few days ago. It starts operations in September 2017, but now is the time to get ready. So I look forward to a large audience to understand how crowdfunding works, and more particularly how normal accounting firms all over Australia, we're not targeting our material at the big 4 or even the top 20 firms. This is for the thousands of firms around Australia who your key clients are small, medium enterprises. They're the ones that I think will be very interested in crowdfunding because that's who the legislation is targeted at. And then just slightly beyond the end of April, but on the 2nd of May, we have laying the foundations to deliver business advisory services for your clients, also at 12:30. So they're the upcoming webinars. To register for any of these webinars, please go to ESSBIZTOOLS.com.au. So I'm going to check again to see if there's any questions. There wasn't last time I checked. Gee, someone said thanks for the presentation. Thanks, Philip. So no one else has got any direct questions. I hope that we've answered all the questions for you. So thank you very much for participating. On behalf of Chris Rogers and myself, have a great day. If you think of any questions later on, please send us an email, peter@ESSBIZTOOLS.com.au. Have a great day. Goodbye.